Okay, 3.5, solving circumference problems. For the try these, you'll need a compass, a string, and a scissors. You can go ahead and do that on your own. Get the materials from your teacher and give that a shot. Okay, so before we can solve circumference problems, we have to go over a couple of definitions. 3 definitions to be exact. We're talking about circumference, we're talking about a circle. Okay, we need to know some terms. We need to know what radius is, we need to know what the actual circumference means, and we need to know diameter and their relationships to each other. Well, if we have a circle, all the radius is, it's a straight line from the center of the circle, everything has to go through the center, to any point on the circumference. So, over here we've got a circle, you can see the center, and it goes to the outer edge. So it doesn't matter where I go, it's like the spokes of a wheel. From the center out to the outer edge of the circle, that is the radius. And in this particular example, the radius is 12 feet. That leads us into diameter. If you look at the bottom here, you can see diameter. All the diameter is, it's a straight line through the center of a circle that joins the 2 points on the circumference. So it goes from one edge of the circle to the other. So right through the center, we go from this point straight across to the center to another point on the opposite side. That is the diameter, and the diameter is just equal to the radius times 2, or 2 times the radius. The circumference is the distance, or the perimeter, all the way around from one spot around the circle back to where you started from. That is the circumference. Okay, so it's the perimeter of a circle. Circumference is equal to pi, and you'll find pi on your calculator. It's equal to 3.14 approximately, but it's a number that goes on forever. It's an irrational number, where d is the diameter and pi is about 3.14. We can use that particular number for pi. Okay, so number 1, what is the diameter of the tunnel? Well, let's actually read the question first. It says, Simon works for the city water department. He is ordering the liner for a new overflow tunnel at the pumping station. If the radius of the tunnel is 12 feet, what should the circumference of the tunnel liner be? Well, to find the circumference, we need to know the diameter. And to find the diameter, we need to know the radius. So what is the diameter of the tunnel? Well, the diameter is equal to the radius times 2, which is 12 feet times 2, which is 24 feet. Simple calculation. Step 2, what is the circumference of the tunnel? Well, the formula says that the circumference is equal to pi, which is 3.14 times the diameter, which is pi times 24, which is equal to, well, let's take our calculator. Let's turn it on. Let's find pi in our calculator. Okay? If you look at my calculator here on the right, you're going to see above the divide sign on the right-hand side, there's a little arrow, and above the arrow is a little orange pi. That's where the pi symbol, the pi function, is located on my calculator. And to get to that, I have to hit the yellow second function button to get to it. So I hit second, and I hit pi, and you can see pi shows up on my calculator. I multiply that by the number 24, and I get an answer of 75.3982236.9. How many decimal places do I go? We probably want to go just 2 decimal places, so I'm going to say that my answer is 75.4. I'm going to round it from 0.39 up to 0.4, so 75.4 feet. That is the approximate circumference of the tunnel. Okay? Example number 1. The stone center of the Majorville medicine wheel has a circumference of 28 meters. So, the center stone has a circumference, that's a distance around this part right here of 28 meters, and it says the outer wheel has a circumference of 85. So there's the outer wheel right there, and it has a circumference of 85. So this one is 28 circumference, this one has an 85 meter circumference. About how long are the spokes? So there's the spokes right there. You can see each one of those spokes goes from there to there. They're all the same, but how long are they? How do we go about doing that? Well, let's look at the solution. What equation can give you the diameter of the outer wheel if you know its circumference? So we need the diameter of the outer wheel. The diameter is the distance from the center straight through the middle across there. So we need to have that whole diameter right there through the center. Okay, well, we know that the circumference is equal to pi times the diameter. Therefore, the diameter is equal to the circumference divided by pi. We just need to rearrange that formula. Okay, how do I do that? Well, if I divide both sides by pi, okay, pi cancels out on the right-hand side. I'm only left with the unit of diameter. But what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side of the equation. So it's circumference divided by pi. So what is the diameter of the outer wheel? Well, the outer wheel is 85 meters divided by pi, which is approximately 3.14. And I get a diameter for that outer wheel of 85 divided by 3.14 approximately, and I get 27.1. 27.1 meters. Okay, that's the diameter straight across the middle from point W to point E, from the west to the east. Okay, now we need to calculate the diameter of this little one. Okay, so what is the diameter of the stone center? Well, we know that it's the circumference divided by pi as well. The circumference is 28 divided by pi, which is 3.14. So I take my calculator and I do 28 divided by 3.14, and I get 8.9, approximately 8.9 meters. Okay, and that's the diameter of the little wheel from here to here. So there's the big wheel diameter, which we said was 27.1 all the way through the center, and the smaller wheel has a diameter of 8.9. So about how long are the spokes? Well, the length of two spokes plus the center diameter is equal to the wheel diameter. So the length of two spokes, okay, so the length of two spokes plus 8.9, because that's the center diameter, is equal to, well, we said our total diameter was, of the big one, was 27. 27.1. So the length of two spokes, we have to take 27.1 and subtract 8.9, because if we look at our drawing here, we want to take the distance all the way across here. From here to here, we want to subtract the inner one. That will give us the lengths of those two parts right there. So 27.1 subtract 8.9. Let's take our calculator. Let's take 27.1. Let's subtract 8.9. And we get 18.2. So the length of two spokes has to be 18.2 meters. Well, the length of one spoke is just 18.2 divided by 2, which is 9.1. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 0.2 divided by 2 is 0.1. So each spoke is about 9.1 meters long. Okay? Not too hard to figure a question like that out. All right, go ahead and do the practice.